Greetings, everyone. Back again. I really couldn't pass on this story. I had to share it. Now, another reason, probably reason 1729, why you cannot trust Uber or Lyft, right? So it's pretty see-through. It's pretty obvious that Dara, Khosrowshahi, and Lyft CEO John Zimmer want to get you vaccinated, right? Want to get the riders vaccinated. So they scheme up these ways. How do we get the drivers vaccinated? How can we entice the riders to get vaccinated so that our business, Uber and Lyft, profit from this? So we know a week or two back, this push, Dara, Khosrowshahi and them pushing for drivers to get vaccinated. But listen to the story on how they want to literally con riders to get their vaccinations. You know what? You are going to get 10 million free, or in small writing, or discounted rides. Lyft then counters and says you will get 60 million free or discounted rides. Now, in the fine print, they don't have to say how many of those are free, and they don't have to say how much they discount them. So it's once again, it's the most misleading verbiage by these guys, right? That tricks the drivers and that tricks the riders. They do it again and again and again. And this is another typical example. So you make a big splashy headline, which makes you sound wonderful. Are you going to give out 10 million free rides? Some will be discounted, right? You don't have to say what percentage. I could give out of the 10 million, I can get 5 free rides, and the rest I could discount maybe by 1 or 2% or 5%. The bottom line is you're using the media both to the company's advantage, taking advantage of the rider and of the driver. It is shameful. And they do it over and over again. And we got to call them out, right? I want to see more YouTubers in 2021 call these CEOs out. I am sick and tired of being here, the lone wolf, right? Having to go in 15 round after 15 round after 15 round fights and club uppercuts, hooks, jabs, and expose these frauds. Where are the YouTubers? Why are they not jumping in, right? Why are they not exposing the BS? The more we expose their BS, the more they're not going to try and do it, right? We have to really get stuff circulated and work together. If we do not do this in 2021, right, we are not going to see change. The only way we see change is if we collectively use the power of social media and actually bring the change ourselves. YouTubers should play a big part of this. So the two competing rideshare giants have announced 2 competing plans to offer free rides for vaccine shots. They're pretty much the same plan that they're conning the rider on. But the fine print, you see, this is the thing with Uber and Lyft. You always have to read the fine print. But the fine print shows that plenty of these rides will not actually be free, right? Mark Biss in London has a great point. He says both will be sued by the new administration for deceptive advertising. That, my friends, this is bait and switch. If a person says, okay, well, I can go and get my vaccine, the ride is free, and end up using it, and it's actually not free, right? It might just be slightly discounted. They don't have to say how many free rides, and they don't have to say what the discount is, but the way they put it out there in the marketing campaign, it's a complete bait and switch, free rides. Anybody that thinks, I'm going to get a free ride to the polls, to the polling station, I'm going to free ride to the vaccination terminals, right? Thinks, wow, I just scored myself maybe, $20, $30. Not the case. Always, always, always read their fine print. Now, it seemed ironic earlier this month that Uber asked its drivers to be given priority for the new COVID-19 vaccinations, considering that Uber had just spent north of $60 million to avoid giving its drivers healthcare benefits, right? That hypocrisy that we spoke about, right? In the Proposition 22 battle. Let me read the sentence again so that drivers understand how they were conned here, right? It seems ironic earlier this month that Uber asked its drivers to be given priority for the new COVID-19 vaccinations, considering that Uber had just spent north of $60 million to avoid giving its drivers healthcare benefits. But their reasoning is obvious. They want riders to feel as safe as possible in their drivers' vehicles again because rideshare business is way down. Now, both Uber and Lyft look to playing the sympathy card too. This is what Dara likes to do, right? But it's always the misleading sympathy card. Both pulling the same move, but separately, as Bay Cities News reports that Uber is offering 10 million free rides to get vaccinations, whereas USA Today reports Lyft is offering 60 million free rides for riders to get the vaccine. Riders, don't be fooled. Read the fine print. Us drivers have learned the hard way. The battle of the survivors sold by Mike. Good morning, my fellow drivers. I've been on the road since 7 a.m. from Burbank, California to downtown LA. Now, that's a hard worker. Thank you for sharing the battle, and be safe out there, brother. You and your family, be safe. And good to see you. Both companies are getting very nice headlines, right? It's all PR for offering free rides. But a close look at the press releases shows these are not all free rides. Uber's December 18th announcement of the move referred to 10 million free or discounted rides, The little sneaky verbiage by Tony West again. And Lyft's press release, a copycat move that came 4 days later with the more impressive sounding 60 million free rides, references free or discounted rides for those in need, obviously in the fine print. Neither announcement clarifies, here it is, neither announcement clarifies what percentage of rides will actually be free, nor what the discount would be on discounted rides. And Lyft's release actually hits people up for donations. Listen to that. And Lyft's release actually hits people up for donations to fund the program. This is how freaking evil John Zimmer and Logan Green are. Let's mislead them. And on top of that, right, let's mislead them with bait and switch campaigns, which they hopefully will be held responsible for. And on top of that, let's ask them for donations to fund this program. Let's ask the outside public to add donations. This is an opportunity to use our collective strength to mobilize on a massive scale and serve our communities. Now, I think this is an opportunity for you to con millions and millions of Americans and people worldwide. Let's be honest, John Zimmer, that's what you're doing. It's not an opportunity to use our collective strength to mobilize on a massive scale and serve communities. No, it's an opportunity to scam people. Scamming people for donations, right? Pretending, oh, we're doing something good, we're giving them free rides, when you're not giving them free rides, is certainly not serving your community, John Zimmer. You may want to get a little bit of a slap on the side of your face so you wake up, or you may need to make your coffee a little bit stronger, John Zimmer and Dara Khosrowshahi, because you are just BSing the public. Right? And other YouTubers have to really call them out, right? I really need to see a more aggressive approach from YouTubers. You know, there are powerful channels out there. You know, the Simple Driver could hold them responsible. Dustin is Driving could hold these people responsible. Harry, the rideshare guy, could hold them responsible. So don't choose the easy sit on the fence method, folks, right? Call them out when we need to call them out. When they're doing their BS shenanigans, right, don't sit on the fence. You have such collective power, my dear YouTube friends, and I respect them and love them, right? But in 2021, I'm going to call out on those YouTubers to have a bit of a more aggressive approach on Uber and Lyft, Instacart and others, DoorDash. You know, when you hear a story of a company stealing your tips, all YouTubers should be on top of Apuava Meta or Tony Zhu, right? No excuses. If we collectively act and expose this, you know, boom, they look like assholes, and then they won't try such campaigns, but they get away with it because we generally do not call them out on their BS, right? John Asher, keep up the good work. Thank you, my brother, and I wish you and your family a very, very happy new year. Wendell Davenport says, hi, Prof. Does Uber offer you Quest in your city, basically offering you extra money to drive so many rides? Yeah, they do have incentives of that nature, but it chops and changes from week to week. I mean, it's more like an experimental program to see where they can make the most profits. But anything to put more money in the driver's pockets, hey, sign me up. Now, of course, driving for Lyft is a factor in determining whether people have access to healthcare, and not in a good way. Both companies did add a fig leaf quarterly subsidy for healthcare in the language of Proposition 22, but it only applies to drivers. Listen to this. It only applies to drivers who average 15 hours of active driving time, right? So again, they go and charge the riders an extra fee because they say, hey, we have to now pay for healthcare, charge $1.50 or $2 more per ride, not telling the riders, again, this, within 2 weeks, this misleading statement and another misleading statement, not telling the riders, hey, our drivers only get healthcare if they actually do 15 hardcore dedicated active hours. But hang on, we're still going to charge you that extra little fee right now. So they are working ways to milk both sides, folks. Wendell says Uber and Lyft should pay us a minimum of $5 per ride. Thank you. That should be $5. High five, very nice, great success. That should be the starting point. Frustrating to be offered $2.49 food delivery, which could take 30 minutes. I mean, that is like a slap in the face. That is just, I mean, that is just, it's disgusting. And I hear you. I understand your frustrations, Wendell. Hey, you want to pay me $2.49 for a food delivery, and you asking me to commit 30 minutes of my time? What they're doing, Wendell, they look for our threshold, that tipping point where we disengage. They push us to that limit. How far can we push this driver before they take? They know exactly what that threshold is, and then they adjust the rates right up to the threshold, right? Where you probably will still take the trip. But, you know, if they had come in and made that $2.10, hell no, I'm not working for it. But because you need the money, right? Because money is really hard to come by during a pandemic, right? They exploit that. They don't reward their essential workers. John Zimmer, listen up. Listen up. You're exploiting your essential workers. Dara, Khosrowshahi, listen up. You're exploiting your essential workers. Dustin is driving. Listen up. Call them out on the BS, please. Harry, are you listening? Call them out on this BS, right? You know, if we are essential, make a video. Then treat us as essential drivers, right? Simple driver. Geo, whatever the guy's name is, Rideshare Revolution or American Gigolo, whatever he calls himself. Call these people out, right? You want us to be essential workers. You want to brand us as essential workers. Pay us as essential workers. You know, if you want to give us healthcare, give us healthcare. Don't put in conditions that we have to be on the platform for 15 active hours before we qualify for a cent. We have to call them out on this BS. It's unacceptable, folks. And if we don't do a better job in 2021 collectively, they will abuse the drivers, the gig workers once again. They will take advantage of us once again if we do not fight back. Listen, we have 5 million effing people. We are an army. Do you know what we can do in 2021 if we actually banded together? If actually the YouTubers banded together? If the YouTubers took their videos and populated Twitter and tweeted it out and Facebooked it in groups? Do you know how much pressure we can put on these people, ladies and gentlemen, along with our 5 million soldiers? And when I said effing soldiers, I said we have an effing army, right? It doesn't mean we're the baddies. No, we're the good side. If you're up against a handful of 30 executives and you have 5 million strong army, 2021 should be our year. So please, I want to see some balls next year. I want to see YouTubers show some balls and each time Don't sit on the fence. Take action. Hold these people responsible. If they pull a BS move, hold up the mirror and reflect what they did to the rest of the world. We can win this, but only together. 5 million strong, all YouTubers strong, all Facebookers, all powerful tweeters, all powerful Instagrammers, Pinterest, whatever channel you have. Mirror their BS to the public and show the public, once again, how they mislead the people, right? So Emmanuel says, after 7 years working for Uber, count with me. I'm with you, buddy. I'm on your side. Trust me. That's my title. Voice for Drivers, VFD. Proudly wear that hat, right? And as Mark says, grow a set of brass balls. Leo Casamenta, all this is being used to force their agendas. Resist, folks, resist. There he is. There he says it. Leo says it loud and clear. There could be not a more powerful word that you could embrace in 2021. Resist. Resist their nonsense. Resist the BS that's been served on your plate. Resist these idiotic rates. Resist this little guinea pig lab experimental algorithm thing with me, with you, right? Resist it in 2021. And the way we resist it is really when more people step up to the plate and use social media. What I love about the live feeds is we get really good input from the people, from the drivers, from the troops, from the 5 million strong, right? We collect those good ideas. But more than that, then we have to use those ideas. We have to tweet those ideas out. We have to circulate those videos. We have to retweet. We have to drop, cut and paste, put links into Facebook groups, call them out by name, Twitter at DKHOS, attach their name, at Uber Help, at Lyft Help. Expose these people, right? Why do you come out and say you are handing out free rides to the American public or to global citizens? Why do you do that? When you, in the fine print, say, well, we don't define how many free rides. We don't define the discount. But let's sound wonderful. Let Dara, Khosrowshahi, and John Zimmer sound like the shining knights, right? Sound like the saviors. 10 million free rides, 60 million free rides for you. We're doing this for you. BS. BS, Dara. BS, John. And again, those powerful YouTubers, step it up in 2021. There is so much news every week, right? Focus, highlight, amplify these stories. No excuses. Robert Hunick is in house. Essential workers need hazard pay. Hello? Listen to this. Essential workers need hazard pay. I preach that like a frickin' preacher every week, right? When they sent me in the army for 6 months into a danger zone, I got danger pay. That's basically hazard pay, essential pay. What is difference? What is the difference between being sent into a danger zone of the pandemic where you have all these sick people coughing, getting into your car, right? And you're taking high risk. It's the same as a soldier who says, or a Marine, sign me up. I'm willing to go into the danger zone, but pay me accordingly, or give me a free tuition, or give me free college. But I will go in there and I will fight for you, but pay me as an essential army, Marine, whatever the case may be, right? What is the difference between a Marine going into a danger zone and getting hazard pay or danger pay, and a driver going into the danger zone, into the hotspots, the COVID hotspots of the world, transporting people that potentially could have COVID? Tell me the difference, right? Both stand the chance to die. The Marine could get ambushed and shot or blown up in a mine, in a landmine. The driver could be taking a trip and picking up a family that has COVID. Not knowing it, 1 week later, infects his whole family. And then suddenly grandmother or grandfather dies. What is the difference? The one gets paid hazard pay or danger pay. The other is treated like crap. pisses me off. AMC creators, who's the people that's gonna Trudy Gomez says it's two different situations. No, it's not. No, it's not. Because a driver could choose to stay at home and collect the unemployment, but a soldier can't just choose. A soldier doesn't have to sign up for the army, right? You don't have to sign up. You could stay at home as well and take a job and collect unemployment. Your argument makes no sense at all. And the comments that you made in the other day, Trudy Gomez, makes no sense at all either, right? I mean, literally trolled this Trudy Gomez thing, trolled the shit out of us the other day with the most pathetic arguments, right? You have a choice. If I'm going to go and dedicate myself as a driver during essential times, pay me as an essential worker. If I'm going to sign up for the army as a Marine and go out there and battle, pay me for that heroic act, right? But to say there's a difference, there is not a difference. Both have choices. You could sign up, enroll, don't have to join the Marines, don't have to drive. Maybe you take unemployment and kick back. Maybe you say, okay, well, I have someone who has lupus in my family, who is immune compromised. I can't afford to go out there and put these people at risk, right? Exactly. Mark, one unemployment, 150 a week. It's a joke. It's a joke. Paul Figueroa says, ich fühle mich besser. And that German means I feel much better. Now, if you don't know, Paul Figueroa will testify he got COVID. And it was harsh and it wasn't fun. And he lost the smell and he lost the taste, right? I am so happy to hear that you feel better. And he says, hazard pay is a must. It is a must. Dustin is driving, call them out. Hazard pay is a must. Simple driver, call them out. Make a video. Hazard pay, essential pay is a must. Harry, make a video, right? Essential pay is a must. Rideshare Hub, who's all over the effing place, call them out. Hazard pay, essential pay is a must. Kevin, Apptrepreneur, call them out in 2021. If you want to call us and brand us essential worker, hazard pay is a must. We cannot allow ourselves to be taken advantage of, ladies and gentlemen, right? You have to step up your game in 2021, especially powerful social media advocates, right? Stand for something, right? Everyone should make a video. If you are putting the brand on us and using our name, misusing our name in media, that we are so essential and we are saving everyone, right? They're capitalizing marketing-wise on our name. That is how they branded us, as essential drivers. That is why they want the vaccine. Our drivers are essential. Well, if they are doing that, if they are misusing our name, abusing our name, then they have to pay us accordingly. Hazard pay, danger pay, essential pay, and every single freaking YouTuber and that has to make a video and call them out so that it resonates and that it is amplified throughout social media worldwide on all Facebook. You know, you have a Facebook group for New Orleans drivers. You have a Facebook group for San Diego drivers. You have a Facebook group for Memphis, Tennessee drivers. These links and these videos should be in every single one. Really, if we are essential, pay us essentially, pay us hazard pay. I haven't seen those videos because the people have not stepped up and stood up for their freaking rights, right? The battle of the survivors sold by Mike says, let's start with New Year's Eve and let it roll into 2021. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you for saying that, right? Battle of the Survivors has a good idea. He says, let's boycott New Year's Eve, right? The one day they rely on making some money, right? We've got a lot of drivers, you know, and I really enjoy your participation and I've got two feeds going on at the same time, right? I'm in the Rideshare Professor, and this is why I want the story amplified. I'm doing two live feeds at the same time. I want to get more exposure. And the Battle of Survivors sold by Mike says, come on, drivers. With Saturday home for 3 months, we could find other things to do. Grow some balls and boycott New Year's Eve. I am 150% behind you. 150%. The only people that should be out there driving are the people that are really so stressed and don't have $1 in the account and say, if I don't drive New Year's Eve, my family ain't going to eat. Now, I have compassion and empathy for that, and I say, take the risk, go drive. But if it is in your power to sit back, I love this, boycott New Year's Eve. Listen to the man, right? If we want to act like 5 million strong, you have to start adopting this thinking in 2021. There has to be a switch, clack, 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 in the brain that says, I will not allow myself to be abused or branded or misused as an essential worker and not be paid as an essential worker, right? You cannot stand there on the school ground and allow the bully to boom, 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 boom until you fall over. No, you've got to slap that bully straight in the face, slap him on the ear, knock him out, right? And how do you get knockouts? By engaging in 15-round boxing fights on social media. Mix it up, my friends. That's the power you have. Hearing loss, Rich. A Lyft driver in Las Vegas stole my car, and Lyft says we can't do anything. And okay, Lyft can't do anything. Well, guess what? Who are your TV stations there? Who are your local stations? Call them up. Write a little story, right? Find out. Get some names from Lyft. Okay, who was the spokesman there that says, oh, we can't do anything? You go to the TV and say, listen, I am an essential driver. That's what they call me, right? This is what they call me. They call me an essential driver. I go out there and I offer essential trips, right? I offer essential trips. And then they don't have my back when I report to them that my car was stolen. No, I'm sorry, we can't do anything. We can't do anything. Really? This individual, Rich, dedicates his hours, his time to perform essential trips. And this is how you treat him? John Zimmer? Really? Rich, channel that into Twitter, channel that into Facebook, right? Send me the details. Let me make a video, amplify that video, retweet it, right? Get me a screenshot of their response. Sorry, we can't do anything. But hang on, you expect me to be there for you as an essential driver. You have to engage your local, on-the-ground media stations. Say, hey, I will wear a mask. I want to share the story with you. I want to show you the screenshots. I want to show you Lyft's response. Let's blow the story up. And trust me, that car will come back like that. John Bauer says, yep, sounds about right. Hearing loss. If it is a comparison with what they have done with us, just wash their hands with the drivers. Right, but you cannot take that type of abuse. Giovanni Chirico, thank you for being a voice for us. Thank you for being here, Giovanni, because it's you who motivates me, right? I'll be setting up my YouTube channel and adding another voice for us. Love you for that. I appreciate you, right? I appreciate that. And this is why here, Long Beach City in the house. That's where I'm going to be in 2 hours. Dennis Torres, you and your family, how you doing? Long Beach in the house. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. You too. So in the other channel, again, the Battle of the Survivors. He's got the right hashtag going. He says, boycott New Year's Eve, period. Right? Boycott New Year's Eve. Enjoy your family time, please. Join me on this, one of the greatest opportunities to hurt them, disgusting mobsters. Here's an opportunity for you to make money on New Year's Eve. And check it out. He's in the other channel. John Bauer says, Nifty 50 says, Guten Morgen, keine Sorgen. Guten Morgen, viele Sorgen. Right? Depends. Good morning. John Bauer, similar to me, working 60 to 70 hours weekly, 7 days per week, only be to deactivated by false cancellations that many are due to Instacart app flaws. And my only answer to that is stick it to them. Stick it to them on social media. File your small claims suit for $10,000. Cost you $70 to file those papers. I will send you the PDF format on how to file a small claims court. It is very easy. You get yourself a third party to serve the papers on one of the hub. You then email the documents to the headquarters. You then send it to 1455 Market Street or wherever Uber or Lyft is, and you drag their asses into court, right? Or Instacart, wherever their headquarters are. You drag their ass into court and say, hang on, this is how much I was making average. You falsely terminated me, right, over this report, and now I am losing money. That's a fact, right? And on top of it, do yourself a favor. Go to LegalRideshare. Just check this out. This is $24. This is $24, this service. LegalRideshare.com/deactivation. And now I'm going to blow your mind. I'll show you something. There you go there. Check, I've given you the link, John Bauer. Now, what makes this so unique, you go down there and it says, here's a reactivation request. You tell the law firm, based on the information that you put in here, they generate a letter. That is a legal letter. It's binding. It is then sent to Instacart, right? And the reasons provided, why did I get deactivated? Obviously, you can add additional details and go into more details when you can say, okay, well, the customer wrote this, but this is what happened. I have the proof. I have the photos. I have this and this and that. But the reasons you can put down: alcohol delivery, customer complaint, third-party bots, false claims, low ratings, fraud, failed delivery, background check, safety concerns, intoxication, cancellation rate, or other. And you specify exactly why they deactivated you so that they can drum up a letter for you and off it goes, right? You're welcome, John Bauer. I want to see you get that back. And stick it to them as far as the small claims. If you need help, and I've done this for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of drivers, well, how do I do it? How do I actually stick them with a small claims suit? I have filed 14 small claims suits since 1999. So in 22 years, filed average about one a year. And I'll file it if I know I'm in the right. And I have a 14-0 victory on my small claims cases. I won every single one of them. And I would even help friends if they were wrongfully evicted or whatever, or if they had slumlords. I would help them. I would come up with a counter legal argument or come in maybe as a witness for them, helping them win their small claims case. It is very easy. If it's just you in pro persona, Latin, you representing yourself, the arsehole on the other side, which is probably the defendant or the plaintiff, right? And then the judge. It's the three of you. Let's tango. And you will win. You will frickin' win, right? Here's my email. Put it out there again if you want to know what papers you need to file. Tell me which state you're in, because there are different papers for different states. California is pretty straightforward, slam dunk. Another one, I'm going to give these guys a shout out here. Cova, because they are my sponsor and they do pay me a lot of money. It's a gig protection plan, but I take them on board because I actually endorse them and use them. So these guys have partnered with LegalRideshare, but beyond, this is a no-brainer. $7 a month, you have actually protection, a gig plan protection, right? Do it in 2021 if you don't have it. And use my code underneath, you get an extra free month. Now back to the article, right? Of course, driving for Lyft is a factor in determining whether people have access to healthcare, and not in a good way. Both companies did add a fig leaf quarterly subsidy for healthcare in the language of Proposition 22, but only applies to drivers who average 15 hours of active driving with a customer in the car every week of that quarter without exceptions, right? Has to be every week of that quarter without exceptions. Otherwise, you don't qualify. How many people can keep that up? That's tough to do during a pandemic when rides are quite scarce. That's tough to do during a pandemic when rides are quite scarce. Keep in mind also that these tens of millions of rides to get vaccines are totally aspirational. The country currently has nowhere near the numbers of doses to correspond with these rides. Pfizer and Moderna have shipped only a few million doses this far, and states say their shipments contain far fewer doses than they were promised. Now, the health officials, Pfizer and Moderna, I'm going to call out the CEO of Pfizer. I'm going to call out the CEO of Moderna. If you put these bold and beautiful statements, and the health officials and the CDC and the FDA, if you put out big, bold statements, right, to make the Americans feel at ease, saying, oh, by the way, 30 million people will be vaccinated by the end of 2020. Ladies and gentlemen, we're 2 days away from the end of 2020. And they said 30, these guys, these Pfizer guys, these Moderna guys, these CDC guys, these FDA guys said, the White House, the administration said, we will get 30 million people vaccinated. Truth is, how many do we have vaccinated so far? 2 million. Where's the other 28 million? You want to get this vaccine under control? You want to get this vaccine under control, and you've reached 2 million out of 350 million people, right? Pfizer and Moderna, step it up. If you make bold statements, you better deliver, right? If you have a $900 billion stimulus, which just passed, $600 is guaranteed so far, right? Why do you dedicate $20 billion to vaccines and $9 billion to the distribution of vaccines? Of $900 billion, you managed to fudge together both sides, Democrats and Republicans. You can only come up with 29 billion, 20 plus 9 billion towards the vaccines. Shame on you, politicians. Shows how important this vaccine, this pandemic really is to you, right? You got 2 million of your promised 30 million vaccinations done by the end of the year. Shame on you. Where's the other 28 million which should have been inoculated, which should have been vaccinated? Step it up. Sherelle says, good morning. Good morning to you. Good to see you. Stephen DeLong, I signed up for COVA under your link. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Dennis Torres, wait for January changes. January, we are going to see those wonderful Proposition 22 changes. California drivers ain't going to be happy. They're going to be on the streets, right? Battle of Survivors sold by Mike says, you would only do a few deliveries. There are so many opportunities to do food deliveries New Year's Eve. Not a single Uber or Lyft customer will be picked up. Please do this, guys. I'm with you. You got the right thinking there, right? So, and who's paying for the gas for these free vaccine rides? Who's paying for the gas for these riders, right? Not Uber or Lyft. Who's paying for the drivers? PPE. So the rider is safe, right? Who's paying for that PPE? Not Uber or Lyft. This supposed grand gesture of corporate philanthropy may indeed provide some free rides for some people who could not otherwise get the vaccine. But it may be months until we have enough doses to know whether these programs are helping. Even then, their efforts may need a booster shot of actual funding from the companies to make any real impact. And there's certainly no mention of funding in either company's announcement, unless you count Lyft's solicitation for contribution from you. They're not even putting in. No, they want a donation. John Zimmer, pull your effing head out of your arsehole. It is so deep inside of your arsehole, right? All you can see is darkness and shit. Pull it out. Wake up. Wash yourself and get with the program. Dara Khosrowshahi, your head is so deep up your wife's arsehole or your arsehole. Pull it out, right? So you can actually wipe the shit out of your eyes and see the light. Oh, this is the real world. Don't live in the pretend world. Don't con riders. Don't call drivers. We will sniff you out, right? Way smarter than your Berkeley degree or your Yale degree, right? May make you fancy money and you got a $2 million Christmas bonus, but the people that actually make things happen on the ground are us. So do me a kind favor, Dara and John. Pull your effing head out of your asshole, right? Like, like it's in there, pull it out. Or have your wife pull it out. Like, honey, it's coming out. Honey, it's almost out. There it is. There's his head out of the arsehole. And now just wipe the shit out of your eyes and welcome to the real world in 2021. And start talking the truth. Start operating and moving in the field of truth and facts. Not phony little misleading bait and switch lines. All right, my friends and amigos, going to wrap it up at the 40-minute mark. I think I'm ready for one more live feed in before 2021. Again, a huge shout out to my sponsors. The one is Kover, Kover. Huge shout out to LegalRideshare. Check them out, and especially if you're suffering along the lines of deactivation. And let me just support these guys, because these are the little guys that are, trying to really make a big dent in the market against Uber Connect. And that is Curial, my friends at Curial. So let's support them. Let's put our weight behind them. Again, you will see the links of the local driver co-op. Enroll, right? We're going to be pushing in 2021. And hopefully we get these grants, right? Because the grants will pay for the insurances, pay for the licenses in various cities, right? Because the money from investors, angel investors, and venture capitalists is not around. They're not putting money into models. So we have to go and get grants for the local driver co-op. So sign up, enroll. The links are below. And do please leave me some feedback on this. What do you think about this bait and switch campaign, Uber and Lyft, both in rush to offer free rides to get vaccine, but most of them will not be free. Thumbs up, everyone. Flushing. Flush. We'll flush. Let's flush. Let's do a symbolic flush of Dara, Khosrowshahi, and John Zimmer. That's who you guys are. These evil creatures. There we go. Flush Dara. Flush John Zimmer. That's it. They're gone. They're gone. Battle of the Survivors has now jumped into the other room. He says some good news. There is an airport in Chile, Santiago. They've been using dogs to sniff coronavirus potential, 85% accuracy. They want to bring that to the United States. Wow. In my wildest freaking dreams, I never knew that could be possible. A dog can actually sniff out coronavirus with 85% accuracy. Yeah, I know they trained how to sniff out drugs or cocaine or marijuana, right? Because if they do sniff it out, they get rewarded. They get like a little doggy cookie. That is nuts, dude. Send me that freaking link. Send me that article. I will make a story on that. Who let the dogs out? Who let the COVID dogs out? 85% accuracy. Bring those sniffer dogs to the United States, and they go around the neighborhood. He has COVID. You go, dude, dog, leave your dog off me. No, sir. You have COVID. My dog sniffed you out, right? Some dogs can sniff out cancer too. All right, let's show those dogs some love, man. Show those dogs, and not logs, dogs with a D, not L, some love in 2021. All right, my friends, that was fun. Had a good laugh. Really got my message across there, how I feel about this. Really called out all the YouTubers to stand up and fight in 2021, and really stuck it to John Zimmer and Dara Khosrowshahi today, right? So Robin says dogs already got coronavirus vaccine. Ukaman, sorry, I saw you early on. Ukaman, I was not ignoring you. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday to you too. I wish you all a great day. I do want to reconnect with you before January the 1st, so I will slip in another live stream. That's how, Do you want to bring back fence into sports arenas? We'll keeping your fingers crossed. Bovine. It's an interesting one. Bovine. All right, amigos. I wish you a fantastic day. Have a good one. Stay safe, everyone. Talk to you soon. Now, and in the other channel, thank you for participating. Appreciate you. Thank you, Battle of the Survivors, for being here. Much appreciated.